I am on a quest to hunt down all of gaming's most absurd and outlandish characters. From the wealthy alcoholic mudcrab merchant of Morrowind to the memory card reading Psychomantis of Metal Gear. From the grotesque Great Mighty Pooh of Conker's Bad Fur Day to a recent favorite of mine, the Tofu Cube of Resident Evil 2. Because characters like this, man, whether they are big or small, center stage in the narrative or a missable Easter egg, remind us that no matter how expertly crafted these games might be, they ultimately are still just that, games. They're meant to be fun, to entertain, and to inspire that inner childhood whimsy that's buried inside of all of us. But in this long-standing quest, one of the NPCs that has stuck with me as a personal favorite for years now is one that I honestly can't believe isn't more discussed here on the internet. A peculiar sort of man sporting an incredible mustache found in a very, very unexpected place. The oft-forgotten 2005 BioWare martial arts RPG, Jade Empire. Yeah, believe it or not, it is here in this Eastern Asian fantasy-themed adventure that we find this needle in the haystack, also known as Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom, the Magnificent Bastard. A character that seems as if he wandered out of his very own, very different neighboring video game and found himself inexplicably lost here in this ancient Chinese one, and believe me, he's super pissed off about it. The star of a short mid-game side quest that is completely disconnected from the rest of the game's main narrative. A hilariously rude and, well, deeply racist caricature of an English explorer that is shockingly voiced by Monty Python legend John Cleese.
And now for something completely different.
And remains to this day, I think, one of the most criminally overlooked side gags in all of RPG history. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NPCpedia. This is a video series where we do studies on side characters just like this, the connective tissue that make our virtual worlds feel full and alive, and just try to understand what makes each one of them truly special. I am Ghost, your host as always. I want to give a quick, sincere thank you to all of my patrons who support this channel so much away from YouTube. Please consider supporting for just $1 a month down below. And now, without further ado, let's go ahead and profile this singularly ridiculous and posh gentleman, Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom, the Magnificent Bastard.
I've gone to great pains to learn your barbaric tongue, only to find that none of you has much to say. I've heard a distinct lack of couplets and quatrains, to say nothing of pentameters. Is it any wonder you people live as you do?
Well, to understand this NPC's extremely unique place in Jade Empire, as well as his incredibly stupid-ass name, let's first zoom out a little bit and talk more generally about the setting of this game and the tone of the story leading up to this short starring role. Jade Empire takes place in a world that's just called the Jade Empire. An entirely fictional land, but one that definitely takes heavy inspiration from Chinese history, Chinese mythology, and specifically a brand of Chinese storytelling known as wuxia, which chronicles the absurdly epic adventures of martial arts masters as they trot all around the world meeting all kinds of colorful characters and creatures, eventually saving the realm from some evil emperor or whatever else. Add some inspiration from like Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee movies, and you have a game full of some amazing and very inspired large set pieces. A serious and intimidating cast of great villains, beautiful locations, and I think a very well structured main narrative about the dead refusing to pass into the spirit realm as you and your party embark on an adventure to set the nature of this world right. I actually did like a full 40-minute review of this game just a few months ago, so I'm gonna put the link for that down below if you want to check it out. But that's all to say, despite the lofty scale of Jade Empire, all throughout the experience there is a very healthy and constant dose of humor. I mean, you can kind of tell from the general art style and presentation alone that things can be serious, but they can also be like whatever the hell this is.
Wow, you sure are pretty. And you got a real nice club here for you and your friends. My name's Tian, but everyone calls me Big Tian because I'm so big.
The writers at BioWare back then, man, whew, they were just cooking with gas. Every game they released in the late 90s through the early 2000s managed to strike that impossible balance of having gripping, deep philosophical stories while always making sure to endear players to the world and characters. And honestly, I would say with confidence that Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom, the Magnificent Bastard, is in many ways the perfect representation of that classic BioWare tonal philosophy. Like many of Jade Empire's side quests, the Outlander, as this one is called, becomes available to the player in the mid to late game once your party reaches the climactic setting of the Imperial City. A place where the main narrative is just starting to get really interesting, but of course there are numerous distractions to keep you busy as you're leveling up to prepare for the game's final act. exploring the nearby necropolis, rising up the ranks of the Imperial Arena, or you can even throw on a dress and join a local piece of propaganda-riddled theater. But when wandering through the affluent part of the city, known as the Golden Way, the player comes across a very strange sight.
Your parentage is below average, and your ancestry is of questionable worth. Your physique seems exceptional. Clearly you are a peasant. A noble could afford sloth.
After you stop him to demand what the hell he's up to, it doesn't take long for the kid's teacher to come over and speak with you. It seems he was behind this, and he had been waiting for someone to not tolerate this kind of abuse and want to stand up for themselves, to demand respect, as there is an individual in town that needs dealing with.
An outlander strolled into the city several days ago and now sits like a cormorant taking what he wants from the river of our hospitality. He balks at our attempts to calm him and answers requests for payment with strange coins of questionable value. He needs to go.
He describes this outlander as immovable, a nuisance who challenges people to strange games and declares himself the winner before firing off his strange firework. I think you can already tell that you might be in for something just a little bit different.
I hope your ability matches your conviction. Several others have fallen short, despite their outrage at his antics. He is in the Scholar's Garden, and no amount of opposition has moved him.
So, you head off down the Golden Way toward the Scholar's Garden, a secluded and supposedly peaceful place where those of high status and intellect gather to discuss various pretentious matters. And when you arrive, well, you are shown something truly absurd.
As amusing as your savage dances are, once again I have proven the superiority of setting your nose to the grindstone and not mucking about. Now bring some refreshments in a proper mug, or I'll take back the coins of my home and country. Don't you heathens know the worth of a proper king's halfpenny?
So the firework that guy was talking about is actually a damn gun, and the Outlander is this fucking white dude, not just debating and bugging people, he's straight murdering fools and calling them savages in broad daylight. It's insane, and it makes me laugh every time.
And leave you lot to your primitive ways? Tell them what I think of that, Squire Percival.
Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom, the magnificent bastard, will do no such thing. He means to educate you all.
Oh yeah, and he's adopted some local loser as his squire who just kisses his ass and repeats everything he says. But when you step up to the plate, things get even better.
I've given him dignity, and unless one of you has the will to deny that I'm your better, I suggest you start learning. We'll have you in proper trousers by the morrow. Oh, what's that? Someone stepping to the fore? Let's have a look at you. Ah, you look quick with your fists, but I'll wager your head falls behind. Too much time slapping each other, and not enough time strapped to a desk in a decent classroom. The simple truth is that I have bested every one of you who has come forward, whether in tests of wit or combat. You faced a champion of king and country. Now, I didn't ask to land here, but if a storm is going to cast my ship into the very heart of such a dark empire, I'll bring the light of knowledge wherever I can.
Okay, so we come to learn that Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom, the Magnificent Bastard, is here in the Jade Empire by what I'm sure he would consider a horrible accident. As an adventurer and apparently celebrated hero in his mysterious homeland, he was sailing around the world doing God knows what, and while crossing something called the Glass Sea, a storm forced his vessel way off course where he soon found himself washed up on the shores of this lawless and disgusting land. He has since spent an undetermined but long period of time here, exploring, learning the language, offending the locals in a multitude of ways, and after coming to the Scholar's Garden in search of the brightest minds, he has come to the proud declaration that the Jade Empire is backwards and in desperate need of a cultural savior. But, I don't know, seems to me like what he's doing in the Scholar's Garden is just obliterating fools with his musket he calls Maribel. And looking at the character design, I mean, what a sight it is. The mustache and beard are spectacular. The monocle, impeccable. The Spanish-styled conquistador helmet, the frilly pink details, the breastplate with a forked slice of cheese. This right here would make for the most esoteric but amazing Halloween costume of all time. And as someone who currently lives in England, this is a perfectly accurate portrayal of the average middle-aged man in my neighborhood. But Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom, the Magnificent Bastard, from his shoe buckles to his demeanor, is very clearly a parody of the real white savior colonial phenomenon that peaked in the Age of Discovery. Legions of crown-funded explorers from Britain, Spain, Holland, and wherever else that would arrive via ship to some new-to-them part of the world, see people that they didn't understand, and then anoint themselves the new mayor in town to lead the locals out of their own self-imposed savagery. But what makes Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom the Magnificent Bastard's ignorance especially funny to me here is that we have already seen firsthand in getting this far in the Jade Empire that this place is like crazy advanced. They have flying machines, explosives, golems made with souls, literal magic, and floating palaces. But of course, to him, they're still just skinny, strange people who like to dance instead of fight and have never known the pleasures of a stiff brandy.
You must hunger for guidance. You're like children. I mean, only a handful of you can even grow a decent moustache. What kind of place is this?
But alright, this Outlander wants a challenge and you mean to give him one. The quest is then split into two different sections, and in the first, Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom the Magnificent Bastard wants to engage in a clash of the minds.
I charge you with defending the heart of your people. If a group of judges determines that you have adequately done so, I will declare you the winner.
A sort of debate in front of a panel of cultural judges where he makes some grand claim about the Empire, and you have a chance to respond.
Well, what shall be my first point of contention? I know, the most basic of concerns for a culture, the currency of its economy. What manner of society would use the silver coin as the basis of trade? Gold is clearly superior, which you admit by using it for important statuary. I call attention to the arrogance of your empire. You simply assume that all lands outside your borders are the domain of barbarians and monsters. How can you truly know they are uncivilized until you've proven it by conquest? Crush them beneath your heel.
And there's a pretty wide array of responses to choose from trying to appeal to his own intellect, to telling him off, or just poking holes in his logic, and after each rebuttal, the judges raise their hands to decide the winner of that specific point. And while the debate is definitely entertaining, the final result actually doesn't matter all that much, as once it has concluded, the second phase of Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom's quest must commence.
What? My monocle must be fond. I can't see anyone in my favor. Clearly these people are incapable of fairly comparing one of their own to an outsider. This is a farce. I seek satisfaction. You have bested me in debate, but true honor is decided on the dueling field. I envy you. You are about to experience for the first time the skill that has forged an empire and traveled the world. There will be pain as well, but I imagine it will be almost worth it.
Okay, fisticuffs it is, and holy smokes, this guy's gun hits like a damn bus. I mean, he doesn't even really fight you. He just stands there like the redcoat he is, aiming down sights for a moment before boom, like Mr. Jumanji over here. But come, old boy, it's nothing my cheesy stunlock build can't dismantle in mere seconds.
That was a fine display of skill.
It was a fair fight, Sir Roderick. Within the rules you specified.
Yes, old boy, you've got it right. I was really sat down, I believe. Like the fall of the old bridge across the Grand. My humours are in disarray, I tell you. I supposed I should have seen it coming. Your win in the debate was a sure sign. I do believe I have underestimated the lot of you. Regardless, you have beaten me. That's a point of honor I cannot deny. Well, there's no other thing for it. Intended or not, you've earned a reward from me. The unsuccessful combatant in a duel must arrange a worthy gift for the victor. I wouldn't be much of an ambassador for my country if I didn't abide by its customs. The Duchess of Almsbottom's rules of engagement are quite clear on this matter.
You can get a few permanent stat boosts to your character, you can get a rare gemstone that he stole from a shrine in his travels for the British museums, or, the obvious choice, you can ask for his gun, Mirabelle.
Mirabelle is yours. Treat her well. She's a finicky lady.
And just like that, the problem is solved. Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom the Magnificent Bastard departs the Scholar's Garden with his squire, never to be seen again. You are left with Mirabelle, an entirely usable but pretty gimmicky weapon style that is unsurprisingly the only gun in the game. From there, your epic martial arts quest continues, with plenty of other far more in-theme tasks to complete as you carry on with saving the world. But with every step you take away from the Scholar's Garden, your memory of Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom the Magnificent Bastard only solidifies him as by far the most unique encounter this game has to offer. Something that perfectly toes that delicate line between immersion breaking and immersion making. What always really excited me about this quest when I was younger and still today is that while it's obviously supposed to just be like a funny break from the action, it's also very effective and underrated in making this game world feel that much more vast and interesting. Thinking about these other continents, other people that might be out there that you'll never get to see. It's like meeting the protagonist of another video game that doesn't exist, or shoot, I guess maybe an antagonist. Now, it is very much worth noting that at the very end of Jade Empire, after the big bads have all been defeated and you stand triumphant ready for the end credits to roll, in classic RPG form, you are shown a little blurb of information about each one of your principal companions that you took on this journey. Their post-game fates based on your choices during the gameplay. And at the very, very end of those, if you completed the Outlander, we do get a little update on our favorite NPC.
Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom, the Magnificent Bastard, left the Jade Empire a broken man. His skills had failed him at the moment of greatest import, and he found it difficult to stomach his defeat, despite his grand capacity. Surely he had not lost as badly as he thought. Surely there was some explanation. Surely he had something to teach this barbaric land. After much soul-searching, he traded his last pair of pantaloons for passage to the prosperous East, where he began his journey home. It is said that he discovered the Fountain of Couth and is now virtually unflappable. That, or he was accidentally killed by the Black Whirlwind, your lovable murderous mercenary party member. It is hard to say. People seem to lose interest. As for Percival, he tired of being called Shirley and returned to his village.
Something I hear often, and I couldn't agree with more, is that big budget video games are no longer made by people who love to play video games. And I see this beautiful, hate-riddled man as a great example of just how much fun developers used to have when they were building experiences that they themselves wanted to experience, full of things that they found interesting or compelling, or in this case, funny. Characters like Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom the Magnificent Bastard, small as he may be, should never be laughed off as just a gag. These are the NPCs that add an intangible, personal sense of heart and color to these games. And damn, Lord knows how they got John Cleese to sit down for something so small, but thank God they did, as his performance really sells the whole thing. So then let this short video act as an archival love letter to this criminally overlooked little character whose quest in the grand scheme of things is of absolutely zero consequence. A missable NPC that is merely here to act as a jester, briefly jingling his bells and making us feel good about the lighthearted, fun world we're choosing to spend our time in. So as my quest continues for the most absurd video game characters, I remain optimistic that similarly simple and amusing ones are out there just waiting to insult me. However, I do have a sneaking suspicion that none of them will be able to rival the sheer unadulterated arrogance of Sir Roderick Ponce Von Fontlebottom the Magnificent Bastard.